I want to teach you my framework for how I implement feedback that I get, how I collect feedback, what I do with. I want to teach you everything about feedback, how I get feedback, how I save feedback, how I organize feedback, and then how I implement feedback into my business. So, if we haven't met yet, my name is Fabian Werner. I'm a student from Germany. I'm currently studying for a bachelor's degree in e-commerce at University of Applied Sciences, Würzburg-Schweinfurt, where I am proudly recognized as one of the top 20% of students. And at the same time, I have 2 years of experience working in tech, where I had to deal with a lot of feedback, especially from colleagues. And at the same time as well, I have 5 years of experience in business because I have started 3 businesses on my own. So my first business was a e-commerce online shop where I sold archive fashion pieces to people around the globe. My second business was a productized service agency where I helped businesses streamline their operations, mainly using a software called Notion. And my current business is that I'm teaching you everything I know and everything I've learned along the way. And I make everything fully transparent, open, and for free. Okay, so how I deal with feedback, I want to show you by making some notes and sharing my screen so you are able to understand how I think about this entire feedback thing. So, getting started, we first, as always, write down. So, how to collect feedback. And as always, this is just how I'm doing it. There is no right or wrong. This is just me telling you how I found a system that works for me. And I can only speak out of experience from this venture right now, creating YouTube videos, how I implement feedback from YouTube videos, because that's where I'm most comfortable with sharing experiences and how it actually worked for me to get feedback and implement it right away. So the first thing I want to show you is a system that is basically the root of the Lean Startup Method by Eric Ries. So this is also a book with the title, and it is called Build in step 1, Measure in step 2, and then Learn in step 3. This is something magical. It definitely is, if I don't mess up the pretty looking square. So it is a 3-step formula where you first do stuff, then you release that stuff, and then you do it again but better, essentially. And how I do that is, building would be, for example, creating a YouTube video. Measuring would be looking at, for example, what do we want to measure? In this case, measuring the click-through rate. So we measure a metric. For example, let's say click-through rate. And I quickly want to explain it to you. So it is a percentage telling you as a creator out of how many people that got the video suggested actually clicked on it and watched it for at least 30 seconds. So if we have 100,000 impressions, so people that saw the video, and 30,000 views, then our click-through rate would be 30%. Yeah, which would be insanely high. So the average is around 2 to 11% is my personal range. 11% being the mark that my videos go insanely viral, because it is very uncommon for education videos to have a click-through rate this high. So we can reverse engineer what went right with these videos, how they were packaged, how they were presented, so we can make more in that style in the future. And the learn part, of course, is exactly what I just described. So make a better YouTube video which would essentially mean we start all the way over here again. Okay, and that looks awful as well. Excuse my bad drawing skills. Even with software support, I'm not able to make clean shapes. All right, so now how do I collect feedback? From a simple tool side, I use Notion, and I have a feedback folder, and every day I have scheduled it to look at the comments that people write on my videos and to read through all of them. And whenever I find something interesting, especially when people critique me in a constructive way that actually helps me understand their pain points or their like way of thinking and why they were unsatisfied with the video, then I add it to this feedback folder. So I just copy the comment, write it down, and make some notes to it essentially. And every once in a while, I look through all of these feedback comments that I've saved to my folder right here, and I evaluate which feedback have I received multiple times over. And that's the feedback I want to implement next. For example, in the beginning it was that my audio setup was awful. I would say right now, at least in my opinion, the audio is acceptable. It's quite outstanding in my opinion because I've worked very hard on getting better audio. For example, by investing over $1,000 into audio equipment and learning how to use it properly, also in editing. But that's just one part of the picture. And all of these tiny little improvements add up to insane skyrocketing of your project, business, venture, startup, whatever. Okay, so the next part would be to measure it. So for example, let's make an applicable example. I love to use polls, so where people can directly give feedback to you. So for example, let's say we wanted to ask our audience, or this is actually something I did. I asked in a poll, so make polls as often as possible and whenever you can. There's also a lot of software to do so with email marketing, for example, or on websites. You want to make polls to ask your audience what they are thinking. Sometimes they confirm your initial decision that you made in your gut feeling, but sometimes they absolutely bust you and tell you that you were completely wrong and that you should do it completely different. So it's great to collect feedback from polls. You can never be too sure about your own gut feeling. You always want to get feedback in to make the best decision possible, or at least a feedback-backed decision. And this feedback definitely has to come from your audience members, or at least from people you trust, not some randoms, because that feedback is useless. Okay, so you want to make polls, and based on that poll, you want to implement the results. So what I just did is, yesterday, I posted a poll in my YouTube community tab asking people which thumbnail, I posted 3 options, they would want me to pick. And the thumbnail I also thought was the best one got over, I think, 60% of the votes, which made me comfortable that this thumbnail is the one people associate, or this profile picture is the one people associate with me the most. So that's why I implemented the result. And this turns into that you, as a decision maker in your business, are happy. Because you made the right decision in a world where no right decisions can be made. At least that's what I feel every time. So that's how I collect feedback. That's how I implement feedback. And one final thought to implementing feedback. Please, please, please try to implement feedback as fast as humanly possible. Sam Altman says that you want to create the fastest iterating company in the world. What does he mean by iterating? To go as fast as possible through this build, measure, learn cycle over and over and over again, as fast as possible. The faster, the better. So for example, if I test in YouTube video format, or if I change a variable in my YouTube videos, then I want to release it not in a month, but ideally today, right now, once I finish the video, to get instant feedback. Did it work? Did people enjoy it? What did they not enjoy, so I can iterate faster and faster to measure what they did not enjoy. So for example, if the click-through rate went up, okay, that's great. I have to adjust all of the other videos or future videos that will be released by this new unique change, so they perform better as well. So you have learned, then you put up the new YouTube videos. That would be the next build part. You measure again and over again. So make the feedback loop, the build, measure, learn loop spin as fast as you can. This is the action step from today. I hope you've learned something from this video. If you did, then I would really appreciate if you would let me know in the comments down below. I will now ask you to leave me feedback on a video about feedback. So tell me what you think about the video. Tell me what you think I can improve. This is me actioning on the stuff I say. So I don't, there is this quote that says, I think, so I do the stuff I preach or something like that. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So if I tell you how I collect feedback, then I will actually collect feedback. So let me know what you liked about this video and check out my newsletter. I can highly recommend it because there are lots of high value interested and demanding people in there that want to grow, that seek for knowledge. And I think you can definitely benefit from them, as well as from all of my learnings that I publish on a frequent basis, all of my successes, all of my failures. I make all of my numbers from my business fully transparent and available to you. So it's a lot of upside with zero downside. I will never sell your info. You can subscribe anytime and you can unsubscribe anytime for absolutely free. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.